This is Sid Roth saying, I have a vision. Now is the set time to blow the trumpet in Zion.
Blow a trumpet in Zion, sound it on the mountains. Blow a trumpet in Zion, for the day of the Lord is come.
Shalom, Mishpocha. Shalom, family. Mishpocha is a Hebrew word. It means family. And we're the Mishpocha, the family with a Jewish heart, made up of Jewish, non-Jewish people that are one new man in Messiah. Getting ready, Mishpocha, to blow the grandest shofar, or the grandest trumpet in Zion. We want everyone, everywhere, to hear the good news. We want everyone, everywhere, to be red hot for the Messiah. My guest, by way of telephone, I'm speaking to at her home in Fresno, California, is the leader of the World for Jesus Ministries, Nita Johnson. She's a prophetess. From a very young age, God began to show her the future for America, and she began to warn Christians wherever she could go. And we have passed the point of no return. We can only forestall judgment. We can't eliminate judgment, the Lord showed her. And on yesterday's broadcast, Nita has been interviewing Holocaust survivors for a book that she's working on. And she asked a very interesting question to an elderly Jewish Holocaust survivor. Review that question again, Nita.
I asked him, I said, Robbie, what do you think would have happened had the church stood up on behalf of the Jewish people during the Holocaust, or prior to the event of the Holocaust? And he thought for a moment, and tears began to fall down his eyes. And he said to me, there would never have been a Holocaust. He said, it seemed as though Hitler was invincible and that he did not care what anyone thought. But the truth is, he was very much a coward. And if the church would have stood up on behalf of the Jewish people in the very inception of what he was doing, not even Hitler would have stood up against an international church. But because they didn't, 6 million Jews died. Now that's a pretty heavy thing to lay at the feet of the church, and I know that's a heavy thing to receive. But
I've taught, and I don't know if I've ever discussed this with you, but I find it very interesting in the book of Esther, which I believe is a very prophetic end-time book, that there were 2 banquets in which Esther went to the king on behalf of the Jewish people. The first time, she, for reasons that are not revealed in the book, she didn't stand up for the Jew. But the second time she did. And I'm just wondering, is if that first banquet was like the first church had a chance during the Holocaust to stand up for the Jew and unite, and we failed. But there's another banquet coming up.
That is a very powerful insight, Sid. Very powerful. And it's true. The church has not stood up for the Jewish person for 2,000 years. For whatever the reason, it just hasn't occurred. And in fact, most of what has been done against the Jewish people has been done in the name of God and in the name of Messiah. And so it has left the Jew. This is how the Jew perceives the church. As I've interviewed these Holocaust survivors for this book that I'm writing, it has been unanimous what I've been hearing from them. And this is how they perceive the church. That we come to them with a cross extended, our arm extended with a cross in our hand, saying, you accept this and you accept our Messiah, or we will kill your babies, we will burn your synagogues, and we will destroy your families from off the face of the earth. Now, I'm sure that most of the people that are listening today do not have that kind of heart. But that is the heart that has been presented to the Jewish people.
And I can tell you, as a Jew, that is the perception that I had before I became a believer in the Messiah, that Christians really are your enemies.
That's how they feel. And so as I have shared with them, what, for instance, what has taken place up in Canada, what I myself have been doing for the last 2 years in America, and now the compilation of these biographies to present to the church, to help the church understand, not that 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, but what these 6 million people endured on a personal level, so that we take it out of numbers and bring it down to a more intimate reality with the minds of the readers. And as I have shared with them my heart and the heart of a growing concern of Christians, I'm talking about full-grown men who have been very, very successful in this life financially, will sit there and weep and say to me, I can't believe that a Christian cares about me as a Jew. This is unbelievable to me. I can't hardly contain it in my heart. What you're saying. They do not see Christians as lovers of the Jewish people. Just as you said, they see them as their enemies. And so the Lord wants to bring the issue back to where it belongs, and that is a Messiah issue. Either a Jewish individual will see the Messiah and receive him, or they won't. But that it's no longer a church issue, that they can't even see the Messiah for the pain in their hearts toward the church. And so to heal relationships in the church and among the Jewish people so that they can make an honest decision in their heart regarding the Messiah. You see, it's hard to be a Jew. I'm Jewish, as you know, and it's hard to be a Jew to think of Christians supposedly serving a Jewish Messiah and yet hating Jews. There's a logic that's missing, and they can't understand it. They can't comprehend it. And so the only way that they can deal with it is to refuse to believe that this Jewish Messiah that the Christian is serving is real and is of any value. So they reject the Messiah for the sake of the church. And so what the Lord wants to do is to bring the church back around to see Israel and the Jewish people through his own eyes, to see his love, his care, his concern, his delight in them, his desire to bring them close to his bosom and to deliver them from every enemy, according to the first chapter of Luke, so that they can worship him in holiness. And the only way that he can do that is to heal relationships between the Christian and the Jewish community, so that they can begin to see the Christian not as an enemy, but as a friend. Now, the other benefit of this is not only going to be that in our reaching out in divine love toward the Jewish community, we're going to prepare an atmosphere where their hearts can melt and they can be prepared for the revelation of their Messiah. Not only are we going to do that through just loving them, but we're going to bring upon our own head the blessing that was promised clear back in the days of Abraham, when the Lord said, "Those who bless you, I will bless. Those who curse you, I will curse." And so the church then will come into a panorama of glory that she has never known before because of turning her heart back to Israel. It's interesting that these prophets of old still carry that mantle that brings about decisions in the Father's heart, and they will until the Father brings everything to the end at the very end day. Gifts and callings are without repentance, Sid, and we can't neglect the fact that the Jewish people have been called to be a prophet to the nations.
Paint me a picture of what the glory will be like on the church that stands up for the Jew in Israel. And now you're talking about anyone can do it in good times, but I mean when it's when this international type of Holocaust is going on, and when people hate the Jew, it's going to only take someone that has the Spirit of God that would be able to stand up for the Jew under those times.
That's right. And they will bear a glory that no other Christian will bear. They will bear the hand of the miraculous. You want to see the multiplication of the bread and the fishes?
Of course.
Stand up for Israel. Stand up for the Jewish person when the Holocaust is sweeping across the nations.
But will there be Christians like Corrie ten Boom? Will there be Christians that will be martyrs? Will there be safe houses and like we had in the days of slavery, or where Christians would hide Jews? Are those days coming?
There will be both, where there will be the Daniel type of escapes, and there will be those who will give their lives for the Jewish people. And both will bear a tremendous blessing and a harvest of wonderful things in heaven. But there will be those who today, in this life, are going to experience the blessings of the Father in ways that they have never known, in miraculous ways, for aiding the Jewish people in this time of the Holocaust. There will always be the martyrs in every generation, and there needs to be. There will be so many souls that will be saved of the Jewish people when they see a Christian giving their life for them, that nothing else can touch. I mean, you can't touch their heart in any other way, because there's been too much of the reverse that has occurred for too many generations. And so when they see that kind of love coming from a Christian, it is going to open up the eyes of many, many Jews, not just the one that you're giving your life for, but that Jewish family, that Jewish community. Is going to make a strong statement. But on the other side of it, there will be these great blessings that will come down from heaven, the multiplication of material things in order to help these Jewish souls escape and into a place of safety and a haven.
I think the greatest wealth that has ever been put into the hands of Christians is about ready to occur, and it will be contingent on your heart for the Jew in Israel. Now, Nita is touching on a lot of things that are covered in the book we're offering this week. It's called The Children of God by a Messianic Jew who lives in Israel. And this book, I'm telling you, there are things in this book I never knew. It traces ancient mystery religions and how they were commingled with Christianity to the point where they actually exist today. I mean, I made notes in this book, and there are things used within the church today that trace the roots right back to these mystery religions, and God's coming back for a holy bride, but you can't be holy and cut some of these things out of these ancient gods that infiltrated the church unless you understand them. The book is available for $15, and this is really a cost basis for us. It's so essential we get this book out. We just got a supply in from Israel. It's available for $15 postage paid. It's called The Children of God. Also ask for a free copy of Nita Johnson's newsletter.
If you would like to receive a complimentary copy of our bi-monthly teaching newsletter, cassette catalog, or information about becoming Mishpocha, write to me, Sid Roth, Post Office Box 1918, Brunswick, Georgia, 31521. Or call our order-only line, 1-800-548-1918. To place a credit card order, call anytime, 1-800-548-1918. For all other calls, the number is 912-265-2500. That's 912-265-2500. For a cassette tape of this week's broadcast, send $5 to Sid Roth, Post Office Box 1918, Brunswick, Georgia, 31521. Look us up on the web, www.sidroth.org. That's www.sidroth.org.